If you do, how can you believe that? You know, how can you believe anything that comes out of the Bush-Cheney administration? How can you believe anything totally that this government tells you? So those are the two extremes, right? Most of us believe somewhere in between that. And whatever you believe about 9/11, it's the reason we're fighting in the Middle East. It's not the reason. It was exploited to be the reason that we're fighting in the Middle East right now. It was exploited to be the reason for torture. Torture is not just a stain on the people who order it. Torture is not just a stain on the people who commit it. Torture is a stain on this entire country. It stains this entire country. How about Guantanamo, Abu Ghraib, Bagram, rendition, you know, and just talk about what's happened in America, the USA Patriot Act, Military Commissions Act, FISA Modernization Act. Doesn't FISA Modernization sound so cool? They're going to modernize something, and it's going to be better. Well, no, they just modernize it so they can be exempt from listening to our phone calls, reading our emails, reading our text messages. And whenever I'm on a phone call and I hear a click, I just go, you know, I hope I'm going to bore the crap out of you. You know, go ahead and listen to my phone calls. I know you're listening to my phone call. FISA modernization just sounds another squishy good thing, right? Like Homeland. This is a homeland, and we're going to have Homeland Security. Who's against Homeland Security? You know, and all I want to say is, it's a good thing that the shoe bomber wasn't the bra bomber. Because then we have, ladies, right? We have to take off our bras and put them through the X-ray machine before we got on an airplane. I'm not giving anybody any ideas. So, it's crazy. It's crazy. Two things people always say about me. I didn't know she was so tall. And I didn't know she was so funny. So anyway, those are my myths. And what I feel we have to do is expose the myths and dispel the myths and then move forward with our revolution. Now, is Cindy Sheehan proposing a violent revolution? Am I proposing that you back your Abrams tanks out of your garage? You know, or shine up your F, whatever the number is, F-18, 16, the new model, the F-32.
I pay a lot of taxes and I haven't got mine yet.
You haven't got your F-16. Or, you know, I don't even want you to go to the park and recommission a Civil War cannon. You know, I don't believe, what I've studied about history and revolution is if it's a violent revolution, you only replace that system with another violent system. So what we have to have is a non-violent, subversive revolution. We can't attack the robber class in a full frontal mode. They know how to repel and they know how to parry each attack. They do it by, you know, either ignoring people, demonizing people, which I know something about myself, demonizing the message, demonizing movements, and now they even have crowd control things like microwave weapons. Has anybody seen? Did anybody see that on 60 Minutes? You know, they just point something at you from thousands of feet away, and it stops the protest. It makes people stop. So the revolution I propose is what Martin Luther King Jr. called a revolution of values. It's about divorcing ourselves, literally, from the robber class systems and creating our own systems, our own healthy economic systems, our own healthy education, work locally on school boards, work locally on you know, your city council or whatever you have, work locally on sustainability projects, on farming, food growing projects, co-ops. There's really something to that old cliche, think globally but act locally. When we act locally, we have influence. I know it's more glamorous to work nationally, to go to DC or work in national politics, but that's where we have the least influence. So isn't it nice to work someplace where you can have victories and celebrate victories? And what was I going to say? Nancy Pelosi. Keep it up while I think. while I regain my chain of thought. So anyway, I know I just touched briefly on Myth America, the myths, and the conclusion revolution. And people are going to say, oh, but Cindy, you didn't talk about this, you didn't talk about that. You don't know if it's in my book or not. And I could come here and read you my whole book, but then why would you buy it? So I want this book, and it's a PDF file. And this is the book here. This is the book here. It's a PDF file. I email it to you if you order it. We have the front page. If you order it, I'll sign it. Oops, there goes my darling grandson. If you order it, I'll sign the front page for you. So, order the book. Once you get it, it's just like any book you buy. If you buy a book, you can loan it out to 1 million people, right? If you have 1 million friends. Or, when you get the PDF, you can pass it off to as many people as you want, because I just want the message to get out. And if you have 100 friends, 200 friends, 300 friends, 1,000 friends, pass them this PDF, because we're not going to have any relevant